Hello and welcome to my blended learning puzzle. I've chosen the Tour program, which is a blended program we have at Berlitz. This program combines work in a platform, which is called Cyber Teachers, and weekly live sessions of 1 hour and 30 minutes. This program is taught in association with the Ministry of Commerce, who provides scholarships to people working in the tourism field, aiming at increasing their English language level for people in this field who are in contact with tourists. So this program gives scholarships for one whole level to these students. The students must work on the online platform on certain lessons weekly. These lessons present the vocabulary and the linguistic content that they need in order to attend their live sessions. And in these live sessions, they are supposed to activate the knowledge to work on debates, role plays, discussions, presentations, different activities that will focus on fluency. So the issue that I see here and that I want to focus on is that most students attend class without working on the platform. We received last month the information on the work students who have been with us for a month had done, and most students had worked on the platform. Most students hadn't even accessed the platform, so they are attending class without working on the platform, and this is causing teachers to replan all their class and start from presentation. So they have to go back and present the topic, present the vocabulary, so that they can conduct the class. They can carry on with their program. So this is affecting it because also the time that's given to developing fluency is being used presenting and practice doing what students should have done in the platform, and this is also affecting the content that can be covered because less content can be covered under these circumstances. And because of this program has shown less positive results compared to a regular face-to-face instruction, even though the linguistic content is shared. And something that I forgot to mention is that for this program, the contents have been adapted to tailor to this population. So we have actually topics related to tourism, like at the hotel or at the airport, all of these areas in which these people work, just to tailor and to engage them into the topics so that they can see the real life use of what they're learning. So my initial diagnosis was that students do not have enough information on how to use the platform, and this is why some students hadn't even accessed it. We do provide a session, an orientation lesson on how to use the platform, and we also have a document that we share with students in which we can find a step by step on how to use it. But we need to take into account that we have students from all different positions. We have from waiters, waitresses, bellmen, and people working in the administrative part. So we need to, and also people from all ages. So we need to consider that people who are not technologically skilled need additional support, and we're not taking that into account. We're assuming everyone knows how to navigate around the platform and everyone knows how to use a computer perfectly. So then another issue that I saw is that compliance with the platform is being measured by time spent in it and not productivity. So we do consider the work students do on the platform, and it counts towards their final grade, but we're measuring it by time. So if I log in and I stay there without working on the platform, that time still counts towards my final score. And also, students do not show commitment because it's scholarship, and that's feeling that's shared among administrative staff and teachers and everyone who's involved in the program, because it's scholarship and we see that students are not working on the platform. Okay, so my final diagnosis, and after going through the core readings, was complemented. So I complemented my initial diagnosis, and I've decided to present it to you, divided into what each core reading proposes. So first, flexible learning in the digital world. The dimensions proposed by Collins are relevant to this issue. So first, technology. I think we're using core technology as complementary technology because this is core. The work on the platform is essential for the program to function. So we are just giving students the option of not working on the platform and doing what they should have done there in class. We're affecting the outcome of the program, but we're also giving them the wrong message. And we're saying that the platform is not an important component, so we have a gap there between the online component and the face-to-face sessions. Also, on the pedagogy dimension, we are just up to the acquisition model. We're just focusing on acquisition of pre-established knowledge, but we need to move towards the participation model proposed in this reading to help our students become a member of a community of practice. Then on the implementation strategy, we need to encourage instructions, extra effort, and to be aware of that, because we are considering the work of the teachers is the same in this program as it is in face-to-face programs. But here they need to work a little bit more, checking and being in touch with students as they work and as they progress on the platform. And also there is a general perception that the platform is not effective, and of course this perception affects the willingness of the instructors to innovate and to use this in class. And then on the institutional framework, no continuous training are provided for teachers. So we provide a training and we give them access to the platform so that they can become familiar with it, but this is not followed up. And then there is no incorporation of this technology in class. So there should be a component, a technological component in class other than the topic that is shared. Also, for blended learning systems, I think that the work on the platform, which is the environment, lacks interaction among students. So there is no interaction or no tool that allows students to interact with faculty or with other students, with peers. And then the role of live interaction has not been defined. So I think the sessions are not being used for what they were meant to be used, and that role is not clear for the teachers, and that's why they're doing their best to have the class, and they're presenting and they are replacing basically what students should have done, and it's not clear for us either who provide guidelines for them. So also models for support, the additional time required by the instructor is not considered, and this is again what I mentioned previously. Procrastination on students' side, which is a cultural factor that needs to be taken into account. So most students haven't accessed the platform because they are just going to do it at the end. Then on learning, whose responsibility is it? I think, again, the lack of interactivity in the online component because no learner participation is required. So that's a big issue that should be tackled. No feedback or reward given for compliance with online activities. So students are not receiving any feedback based on what they do on the platform. We're just grading and we're just checking time spent on the platform, and this should be addressed. Time learning changes based on learners' skills, and we should know that, and this is related to the previous item, and is if we're checking students' time on the platform, we are forgetting that each person spends less or more time on the same activity depending on the skills that they have. So time is definitely not something we should be assessing. And then teachers' guidelines are not strong. If a student has a problem with the platform or with a specific activity, the teacher sometimes is not able to provide help because they're not really involved with the process. So this is something that also should be addressed. So I present my proposal to improve learners' and teachers' experience in learning process from three categories. The first one is flexibility, then learners, which involves students and teachers, and interactivity. So learners first. I think students must know their needs. Berlitz must know students' needs as online learners. This is very important, so we can identify which learners need additional support. We're not choosing the learners, we're just giving the learners, so we should help them become successful and become autonomous at this process. Also, active and permanent interaction of students with staff regarding academic issues. They should, during the week, because they're also studying, they should be in contact with the language. They should have somebody to reach out to in case they have a question regarding their activities. The teachers need more time involved in the program. This is definitely something that we should consider. Teachers need to check what the students are doing on the platform. Otherwise, we're going to keep having this gap in which teachers don't know what students are doing in their alone time, in their time working in the platform. And then when students bring this to class, they don't find an answer because teachers are just not aware of that. And also, while these extra time could be done through a reward system, some sort of, I don't know, bonuses or something that rewards teachers who make good and effective use of that time. Then constant training on the platform and the program. It's very important, and constantly, because even though they're teaching, they sometimes forget on how to implement what they saw on an initial training. And also a reduced number of teachers per group. We work on the basis of teacher rotation, and that means that many teachers have the same group. So if we reduce that group, teachers will be responsible for the group progress. Also flexibility. So we're going to increase the availability of lessons to tailor to students' personal choice, and that's very important because this is a tool that allows students to choose what they want to see. Increase course resources during face-to-face sessions, and by this I mean bringing examples, bringing activities, bringing students' responses from the platform to the class, so they can see that these two tools are connected and they can see the relation and the need of working on them. Tool as core technology. So this is something very important. Students cannot work or cannot function in the live sessions if they do not work on the platform first, and this needs to be core, and it needs to be checked, and it needs to be known by the teacher. Complementing teacher learning process with activities leading to participation, and this takes me to the last component, which is interactivity. So this is very important. The platform is not interactive. but it needs to be. So we need to implement students' interaction in the virtual component through blogs or through actually an app that this platform has. We need to include platform examples in class to encourage feedback and connection between both, and to implement teacher-students interaction and availability to be contacted. And then assess the quality of the time spent in the platform. Very important, not the time itself, but what students do with that time. Thank you very much for your time.